radicalize your local police department. They are the first line of defense in this Islamic terrorist war against us. And if you watch the San Bernardino attack unfold, you understand that these jihadists were not going to stop with that one attack. The local police are the ones who took down these Islamic terrorists and stopped a further massacre. Your local police, like the cops in San Bernardino, 300 of them running toward the danger, openly stating, "I'll take the first bullet." These are your defenders, and these remarkable men and women in blue are our heroes who don't think twice about taking a bullet for you. Number 3, we need to close the borders from Mexico and from Canada. Pure and simple. Syed Farouk and Feeley had set the precedent by showing the world that it can be done on American soil.
He's saying close the border in
and there
Mexican
needs to be a
border.
halt to the issuance of visas. And I don't care if it's a business visa or a vacation visa, an education visa, a fiance visa, a 90-day visa. Stop. These people do not have a right to be here, period, end of story. And number 4, we must stop the refugee resettlement program immediately. And I don't want to hear that it's not who we are. I know who we are. We are a nation founded on the Judeo-Christian ethics. And I don't need anyone to tell me that I have to take in somebody because they want to change the political demographics of this nation. And need I remind anyone that we don't have the ability to vet them. And even when we do, we don't know what the hell we're doing. Example, the Tsarnaev brothers, the Boston bombers. We gave the family political asylum.
And a Mexican lady from Las Vegas.
Killing, dismembering, and blinding innocent Americans.
There's another false flag operation.
Get ready to give up some privacy. The metadata collection that is going on has been stopped. If that program were still in place, the feds could have taken the cell phones of those terrorist animals and immediately connected them to their contacts. You've got to arm yourself with knowledge. In order to confront the enemy, you must know who the enemy is. And since our commander-in-chief won't even call them what they are, Islamic terrorists, but instead prefers to preach what Islam is and isn't, and that we shouldn't denigrate all Muslims based on the actions of a few, while he is willing to denigrate all gun owners and take away our rights based on the actions of a few. You need to recognize the danger. Talk to your neighbors. Create organizations to say current, unquestionable behavior, not just in your community, but around the country.
That's what I've been trying to do. Nobody wants to do it.
We're told to say something when we see something, but don't say anything against people who act suspiciously who happen to be Muslim, because that would be Islamophobic. Farouk and Malik's neighbors said nothing when they saw something because they were fearful of being called Islamophobes or racially profiling. The plan, folks, to shut us. When our Attorney General, greatest fear, the day before the FBI calls the massacre a problem. And I'm here to tell you it is part of the Islamic terrorist plan. If we are religion or Muslims in general, it's already here. We are living in dangerous times. Ladies and gentlemen, the jackals are at the door.
This is Face the Tribune with Rolando Larraz, broadcasting from Las Vegas, Nevada, United States of America, from the building of the Las Vegas Tribune newspaper. And I have to say, this Judge Janine Pirro is fantastic. I cannot believe this woman, what she's doing. I don't believe, I'm surprised to see her doing a speech like that, because it is true. We need to organize, we need to be able to know who is who and who the enemy is. We cannot afford one minimum of disruption on our freedom and our liberty and everything else. People, wake up, America, because you need to wake up. Otherwise, whatever we got left of our country is gonna be gone. Wake up. That's all I can say, because we are in serious problem.
Is that why you brought in the wake-up guy over here?
Oh,
Wake up, America.
Wake up and ask questions.
today with me, of course, is my co-host Clark Feeley, and the host of The Herd, and the guy then built the wake up call at 1 o'clock. Mr. Dr. Steve Dempsey, Captain Truth. Was you a captain ever? You was in the army?
That came from Cheryl Godfrey on KDON.
Oh.
She used to call me captain, and then I called her colonel, and then suddenly a guy that followed me one time said, "I like that guy because it seems like he always tells the truth." And from then on, it was Captain Truth.
Oh, but it's not because you was in the service.
No.
Not because you serve your country with dignity and respect.
Well, I
Because
feel I'm doing.
Someone else said the truth.
I feel I'm serving my country with dignity and respect now. I took an oath from
I
Lieutenant
know
Colonel
that,
Bo
but
Greitz
I
many
know
years
that.
ago, and it doesn't. An oath of office like that doesn't expire. It goes on.
Yeah. So tonight is gonna be the show, right?
The
Tonight
State
is
of
the
the
show.
Union show.
The State of the Union. Yesterday was the Golden Globe, and tonight is the show. Isn't that what your buddy? What's his name again?
98.8% right. 99.8% right. Rush Limbaugh calls it the State of the Union show. Because it's a show. It's nothing to do with the State of the Union, really, because it's a lie.
Between
So it's a show.
between
It's a distortion. It's propaganda, and there's not going to be any truth told whatsoever.
between Rush and
Captain Truth.
and what's his name? Your idol?
I don't have an idol.
Alex.
I have people that I respect, just like I respect Mr. Trump. And Alex Jones is a lot similar to Donald Trump, as anyone who has encountered his history. He started with a 1-hour radio talk show in Austin, Texas, a little over 20 years ago. He now has a show that's broadcast 23 hours a week. He has probably, 12, 15 reporters that he sends all over the world to investigate stories.
Now, let me ask you a question between you and I.
Sure.
How much did he pay you for that spot in the Radio Tribune?
I'm hoping he pays me freedom and liberty for a little bit
How
longer.
much did he pay you for promoting his show? And
We've never-
and my show.
We've never discussed it, but you'll be surprised. As I told you yesterday, I'm going to get you on his show, and he's going to teach you a lesson. He's not in competition with you.
No, of
he'll
course
he'll
not.
do everything he can to help
No,
you.
and that's
If you've
what-
got a better idea, he'll help you and
that's
put his idea on hold or put his program on a
that
hold.
That's exactly what I said when I invited Steve Sampson from Veterans in Politics to come here and do the show with me. We all need to put an effort, and everybody that has a microphone, anybody that has a pen, and it can follow the love and the respect for this country, we all should be together, because the more people that can listen to us and the more people that can listen to the truth, which we have lost long time ago, we need to have more people like Alex and Steve and you and Clark and even Kevin Wall, that I'm not that crazy about him.
He's learning. He's a youngster in the
He
talk
is
radio,
young, right?
He's not that familiar with talk radio yet. He's still kind of in a competition situation. You know, a lot of people got into talk radio that used to spin records or used to read the news on radio
really?
stations. And then, you know, talk radio hit and it became a wave, just like the wave that you're on now. As long as you can stay on the surfboard, I think we're going to be able to make it with the internet radio. Because people are they're going to have this in the car before long in the next couple of years.
Oh, some cars has it already.
I have been in one of those.
Yeah? I never been
The guy
one.
turned on Alex on his car radio. I said, how'd you do that?
You won't be able to tell the difference, and what that's going to do is explode internet radio. There'll be a lot of competition out there.
Yeah.
So we need to get our foot firmly planted and somewhat renowned before that hits, so people know who to tune in, because you're going to be overwhelmed with the amount of trees in the forest. I mean, it's going to explode.
Yeah.
And that'll do away with the limited radio shows now that only go to a certain area. They're going to be wiped out.
And some of those regular, what I call regular radio stations, they also broadcast in the internet too.
Sure.
You
Yeah,
know.
they're getting ready because they'll be wiped out when the
Right.
internet takes over.
Right.
And you can tune it in your car. That's probably 5%
And that's
of the
what
radio
I'm trying.
listeners.
And that's what I'm trying to tell people, like I did with you, and I did. You know, come over, have your own show, build your own audience, and that's the way we're gonna be able to do it. Now, from the bottom, and you was smart enough to and gracious enough to accept my offer, and now you got your show. And maybe 2 years from now, you be the Lou Epton of the 21st century.
And the good thing is they won't be able to jump ship and go to one of these local broadcast shows because they'll all be gone.
You think so?
Yeah, once they can hear this on the radio in a car, there
Yeah.
goes the radio show.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm
So
saying.
when
Most-
you get established 2 years from now, there'll be no radio shows out there that Captain Truth can jump ship and go to K-Dawn or something like that,
No, but
like
K-Dawn-
everybody
but
else.
This is what I was saying. K-Dawn is gonna have their own internet.
Oh yeah, well sure, but
You
then
know,
what
that's right.
difference?
Yeah.
Why would you go to? Well,
Yeah,
'cause
it's the same
they
thing.
may have a bigger audience. I don't know.
I
because
don't know
Well,
because
some
the,
of that
the-
follows over.
because
follows
the
it, you know.
the range is going to be the same for everybody.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
you won't be able to tell the difference.
I had a guy, some Jerry guy, I forgot his last name. He called the other day from Buffalo.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, he didn't call. He emailed and told me that he was listening, and I told him the next time to call in. You know,
How about from Moscow? Someone could hear it in Moscow if they had an internet
problem.
connection.
We had a
You
guy.
can't tell the difference.
When we was across the street, we had a guy calling from somewhere in Peru. It wasn't Lima. It was some kind of different city. Or,
If they had the internet when Bernie Sanders got married, he could have called in from Moscow on his honeymoon.
right.
But I would like to respond to the concern over Captain Truth jumping ship, and I'll make this proclamation right now, and you can write down the date that I made it, and I consider it a binding verbal contract. I may be doing shows other places, but you're always going to have an opportunity to have access to my show no matter where I am.
Wow.
Wow.
And you can do a pajama boy even. You can call in.
Yeah, like
Well, and I think that's fair. You gave me the opportunity to get started. I mean, how many people can walk down the street saying, "Wow, I wish I was on the radio somewhere. I got to get a radio show." And lo and behold, there's Rolando speaking to a friend of his just outside the courthouse. I don't know how long they were there, probably maybe 20, 30 seconds. I'm on the way to the law library. And when did I pass in close proximity to the two gentlemen that are standing there? Right when they're there. And Rolando just happened to hear me on K-Dawn earlier that morning, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I was talking to Michael Sommermeyer. He's the public information officer for the Supreme Court, Nevada Supreme Court. That's what we was chit-chatting over there. And
I'm glad you were there.
Yeah, and I thought then you make few points that day or the day before. I forgot when was it. Then I hear you, and I thought you should have your own show. You know.
Well, when is Hillary Clinton going to crash and burn?
But I tell you one
well.
thing, you don't have to worry about jumping ship with me because I already make myself a promise. Then if we don't have.
You're going to jump it.
If we, yeah, I'm
Ship
gonna
will
jump
jump.
it. If we get Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders, because might as well, if they win the election, we might as well go back to Cuba because they're gonna be a socialist.
Same
I
block.
will retire. I will completely retire. I will give Clark the radio station,
The
and
ship?
I will
Huh?
give Ed the newspaper. And I will lock myself in my house, and I will not go out for anything. It's a matter
Will you
of fact.
keep the door locked?
Well,
at
I
all
tell you
times?
what, just out of respect, you can have your pajamas on, and every now and then you can call into the show if you'd like to. I'll give you the number.
Why? I will ruin your business.
Oh, well, that's true.
I will ruin your business because
Well, that's
freedom
all right.
is not going to be. I will not be able to talk. I
that's
will not
true.
be able to write my column.
That's right.
You know, you
That's
need to
right.
read my column this week.
That's
You
right.
know,
There won't be anything.
tomorrow.
You won't have any guns to protect yourself with even, so your days will be numbered. All of our days will be numbered. What are we going to do when they turn the guns on us? The military turns the guns on the people. That's what I want to know, because that's what it's going to come to.
And this, well, I don't know about that. Maybe we are.
It'll have to
lucky.
get straightened out before
Maybe
that
we're
happens.
lucky enough to have military people that will care for this country.
Let's hope so.
And will do their duty and take over the country. Nothing is, look at this past of this country. Every time we have a general and the president, the country do good. We don't have any crime, not that much. Crime is going to exist. Crime is like prostitution. It's the oldest profession. We're going to have, but what we cannot have is corrupted politicians anymore. It is, and this is what I was talking off the air before I go on in this radio show today. The problem here is way, way back from the 1800s. Whenever they created the Senate and the Congress, and they allow the people to control every move that we make. We get every time we get allow the people to lie to us, and we elect. It's like I was saying, you elected a senator or a governor. He got elected because your vote, and after he got elected, you will never be able to see that person anymore. They become.
They jump into the pocket of special interest groups.
And they walk around you like they are God gift to the world, and they don't even say hello anymore because it's not election time. When election time comes, then they knock at the door and how's your kids? How's your children? And how's your wife?
remember
They don't
Bob-
even, the only politician that I know that remember names is former Governor Richard Bryan or former Senator Richard Bryan. I was gone for 3 years. I was checking into Caesar's Palace. He was checking into Caesar's Palace, and he saw me and he said, "Rolando, nice seeing you." He remembered my name. I talked to the guy probably 2-3 times. That's it. 3 years earlier, 4 years, 5 years early. He remembered my name. That made me feel good. And everybody that is in the same position, we have the opportunity now to have our friend Ed Uheling join the table, the conference table, the president, I hope, when he get elected, he will not forget Radio Tribune or Clark Feeley or.
I think he'll remember
That's
your
not true.
name.
That's not true at all.
You're gonna forget about us?
Yeah,
gonna try.
I remember faces. I could never do what Richard
names?
Bryan. Richard Bryan is very good at recognizing faces.
Richard
Bryan. Richard Bryan
Yeah.
is very good at remembering faces and
Yeah,
remembering
he's very
names.
good.
Okay, I don't remember faces.
Well-
I all the time haven't I seen that person? And here I've dealt with that person a dozen times, and I don't.
Because you are very busy, man. and
No,
you
yeah,
are,
right.
You know,
No,
and
you-
you
all
look
you
very
care
nice
about-
today. You look very
All
nice
you-
today.
All you care about is someone smoothing and patting you on the back, or soothing your ego.
Me?
We can.
Why?
Nevada is one of the easiest places to get in touch with your elected representatives.
Really?
Not if you're
Well, that's what
Rolando.
it sounds like. Why do you have to have them come up and say, "Oh, hi, how are you? Good night. You're such a
I
nice
don't
guy."
want that. I want him.
Yes, you do.
I
You
want.
You were happy
want.
that Richard Bryan did it, and you want everyone else to.
Well, I was surprised.
It was unusual.
I was
It caught him by
surprised.
surprise.
I
yeah.
was surprised because I've been sitting next to Michael Callahan at a table, and I've been sitting next to Michael Callahan, rest in peace, and he was one of the good governors in the state of Nevada. I see him a million times, and he never remembered my name. You know.
Okay.
So I was surprised.
But
I was surprised.
rather than looking for compliments from these people, we should be holding them to their. to
Right, that's
they
what I'm
promised to do.
saying. That's what I'm saying. People, I wasn't talking about me.
Yes,
people,
you are. You're
people
talking about
getting in
someone coming and saying, "Oh, Rolando, you're so."
I was putting down.
How
as
do
an
we hold them
example.
to their promises? That's the
You know,
question. How do we
that's-
hold them
you
to
know,
it?
That's right.
How do we make them?
That's right.
live
By
up to their
exposing them, They
promises?
don't.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what I said.
you-
Isn't that what I said this morning, Steve? I said these people, we elected them, and then they forget.
Right.
They think they above us.
Yeah, but you're more interested in them recognizing you as a person than keeping their promises.
Let me explain something to you, my friend, my dear friend Ed Uheling. Let me tell you, I'm here for a long time. In the 50s and the 60s, everybody go to a casino. They go to the coffee shop where everybody used to.
There were only
sit
20
down.
people here.
You know,
Besides the workers at the dam, there
Yeah.
were only 20 people here.
everybody want to sit in the front table so they can see everybody and everybody. I always sit in the back table, all the way at the end.
Were you
I don't-
born in the year of the monkey?
I don't know
People
what.
born
Are
in
you
the-
calling me monkey now?
No, people born in the year of the monkey
Yeah.
do that. They sit in the back and observe everything.
I like.
What
to
year
be-
were you born?
I don't.
But
It's
they do go by
1960.
years.
I don't hide my age. I don't hide my age.
But that's what monkey people do.
Let me ask
Very
you,
interesting.
Mr. Uheling. Something has brought you over here today. You must have something interesting.
I'm just
to
coming
talk-
back from the LVCVA meeting where I let them really have it.
Oh, really? Why? What happened?
I attacked
Tell
them.
us about it.
They
Wait a second.
came-
What kind of meeting?
LVCVA, the
Las Vegas Convention and Visitor Authority.
Authority.
Authority, not board, not bureau. Yeah.
So
Okay.
you had something you wanted to discuss
They
with
revealed
him?
their vision plan. Their vision plan is a status quo plan to soothe so that these hotels don't have to compete with anyone, so that all these people can keep their jobs, so that everything continues just as it is. They're projecting. Here we are in a world of booming tourism, of booming development, of unbelievable things happening, and they're projecting a 2% yearly increase in tourism for the world's premier destination center. Now,
One of the wonders of the world, Las Vegas, is one of the
It
wonders of
is.
the
It
world.
just went up almost 10, I think, from last year, didn't it?
no, it went up It went up a little bit.
I
It
think
went up
it
a
was-
million visitors, which would be
No, I
million
think
or
it's
million and a
more
half
than that.
visitors.
I think it went like from 40 to 46.
No, 43.2 this year. Last year was 42 or something, 42, or
Really?
just over 40, something. But it's
But-
here.
Well, you have to give
they-
credit. You have to give credit to the Las Vegas Visitors and Convention authorities. They are very loyal to their people. They completely loyal.
Yeah, but who are their people?
They have Billy Biciliari running the advertising department and the promotion department for the last 20 years.
Yeah, and they
And
just
they
gave
keep-
him a contract,
and
$1 billion contract.
$1 billion?
$1 billion contract, 10 years at $90 million a year. With no competition, nothing.
Is that the advertising
no-
thing you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of them? The R's up to
R&R.
Billy
yeah,
Biciliari.
yeah.
Clark, did you submit a bid on that? Did you?
No, I didn't have my paperwork together.
The last
You didn't
time,
have a piece of paper?
Well,
the last time they had a competitive bid was like maybe 15 years ago, and
They do
and there were
that.
obviously at least
Fixed.
one and maybe two other presenters that had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to make their.
And who was
presentation.
there before that? Sig Rogich?
He's a founder of R&R, or one of the R&R's,
Yeah,
Rogies.
he created R&R.
Yeah. So.
Okay, that's
And-
interesting.
So for
That's
this-
15 years ago.
so
You
the
were-
best
you
they can
observed
do-
this?
Yeah,
Tell
I
us
was
something
at the
about that.
meeting.
Didn't know.
That's
The
what
best
I'm
they can
saying.
do
The
for $90 million
convention center
is
very,
2%.
very loyal.
What?
the best they can do for $90 million is maybe a 2% increase in the visitors to this?
Yeah.
That's their
Yeah,
advertising.
because they
Best
don't
can
want
do.
visitors, because the hotels, the existing hotels don't want more hotels built. And I talked to I talked to the MGM guy afterwards. He says, "No, that's not true. We want whoever wants to come. We want him to come." And I said, "Well, your guy Hornbuckle, the president of MGM, is going to all these meetings saying, 'Oh, our room rates are too low. It's not as high as it used to be.'" And they push the room rates up by having fewer hotel rooms.
Yeah.
My experience has been over the years that more people call trying to get rooms than ever get rooms, and that's what created the boom in Las Vegas for decades, was anytime they increased the room capacity, the competing hotels wouldn't have 100% maybe for a couple months. They
That's
had
right.
and then all of a
Exactly.
sudden they're all 100%
Yeah.
again, so every increase in rooms created more people to come.
That's right.
And then those
That's
people
right.
walk around and go from hotel to hotel, and the whole pie gets bigger.
100 million people from China want to come here.
They can't. There's no rooms.
They don't promote China properly, and they don't give visas, so they can't come. And they would come every 31 people, 31 Chinese that visit the United States creates one job.
Every
31
31 people create one job. Well, that's pretty good.
So
Boy, that's
3
very
million
good.
visitors would create 100,000 jobs. That's all it would take.
I'd take a bite out of unemployment in this country, or in this state.
That's right. But they don't take the steps to make that happen. They talk about it. They
yet
had a
it-
thing
they
saying,
don't
"But
understand
we want
it."
to
But
welcome
them-
the Chinese. We
but-
want the Chinese to come, but we want to be prepared for it.
They don't understand
but they
what's
don't have
built
a single
this town.
step to be prepared for
But
it.
them,
And they're
they
actually-
turn around and they support gambling in Atlantic City, gambling in New Orleans,
That's
gambling.
okay. No,
I think that increased-
Vegas can
Why?
compete.
We was the only state.
Oh,
that-
that's
We-
serious.
no, we
Yeah,
can.
but
Why? Let
The
people
gambling in other
gamble wherever they
venues,
want.
in my opinion, has increased the gambling
That's right.
population, because now
Here.
people with
That's
these river
right.
boats, all of a sudden they learned about gambling.
You just
so
lost
now they
3-1.
And where do you go? To Las Vegas.
Yeah, they end up coming to Vegas and they never would have
Okay,
come
well,
here
I'm willing
if they
to.
hadn't had a
You're
riverboat.
willing to admit
I'm
that you're
willing.
wrong?
I'm
Yeah.
willing to admit it. All I want is, I love Las
He's probably
Vegas.
been
You
in
can't
the
go
casino.
down.
we
I
do
love
too.
Las Vegas.
That's right.
You can't
I mean-
compete with our infrastructure. Nobody can. You
I
can't
know.
build what's
More
here.
people come to this little place in the world than any other destination in the entire world.
And no one will ever catch up.
And
It's
yes, they
impossible.
were. Orlando, while we've grown 7% in visitation, has grown 30% in the same period, and they're planning for 70 million people. They
Wow.
said at the meeting,
Shoot, man.
they said in the meeting, our maximum in the current situation is 48 million people.
And just what's there is Disneyland. That's it. I mean, basically,
I know. And what
is
do
that
you go
it?
for it? That's right.
Yeah, that's basically it.
So give us the rest of your talk. You scolded these people and said that they were short
I
on
said
their range
their
projections.
Vision plan is
visions,
totally
yeah.
misnamed. It should be called the status quo plan. and it might do good for the ego of Rolando, who has been the person responsible for all these losses that we've had. We've gone from 50% of the gaming market in the world, the gaming place in the world, to now 10%. We're only 10%.
Wow.
Of the three major markets, of the three major.
Well, they definitely wanted to get out of the sports market. That probably threw a
What
lot
did
of
they
their
threw?
their percentages off.
Who wanted to get out of the sports market?
The casinos here in this city, as far as the handle that they held and that got passed across their windows in the sports books here.
What about,
I mean, we used to be the number one sports gambling place
Yeah.
in the world.
It is.
It's not even close now. I mean,
Really?
yeah,
Who's the number one?
it's all on the internet.
Internet.
Oh.
It's all
Well,
in Puerto Rico
Well,
and offshore.
More people come to Las Vegas than go to the Super Bowl game or go to the.
Oh, there's still a lot of people coming.
Game on Super
They-
Bowl Sunday.
And maybe they feel that their hold would be higher with less risk. You know, I'm not.
They come
hearing
here
their
for
side
more
of
than the
story.
game. I mean,
What?
they come here for more than the game. Going to
That's
a Super
right.
Bowl is just to go to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
That's it. That's
It's boring as can
It's
be.
boring. You can't
Not
see
only
the
that, you can see
replays.
better if you stay at home.
Yeah, so you come to Vegas for all the stuff that goes with the
That's
fact
right.
that for 3 hours is going to be a game. Who the hell cares? It's the 2 days that happen before and after.
Yeah.
That's what counts.
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
Anyway.
So
And I
what is-
pointed out how how the CES that they just had last week that they're criticizing because they're packed on top of people. People are packed on top of people. The facility isn't large enough to handle this.
Improve the
congestion.
transportation system.
No, it's not. It's inside. It's the facility.
how many
Oh,
people
totally
came? How many
agree.
people
I
came
see.
this year?
I totally agree. A much larger facility should be built.
Wow, how many
but
people
it should
came?
be built with cash that they saved from the past, not that they're going to assess to us, the taxpayer, in the future.
That's it.
They're so
That's the way they do it.
Wow, what an
That's-
interesting concept. Did
That's
that
the way
surprise
they do
anyone?
it. all the time.
We're the number one convention destination in the world, and we can't make money by doing that.
That's
we
right.
can't pay for our own
it's
growth.
unbelievable because when I was a kid, when I was in high school, they built the first facility, or they talked about the first facility, and when they built, no one had any money in 1956, 1957. And they were just building the hotels then. My family didn't have money, that's for sure. And they built this facility to help out to take care of the tourists and to help out the cities. They built the swimming pool over in Boulder City, which is where I lived. I later became the director of the swimming program, so we had a direct benefit from that. But today they don't save their money. They don't create money. They're so afraid of losing something
Because-
somewhere.
Where does all the money go
Because-
for the
because
$300
you-
extension cord that you have to get from them
That's
in
right.
your booth? Where does
Because-
and the
That's
carpet,
right.
the
Because
$500 carpet in your
those
booth?
people
Where does that
have
go
to get paid. Those people need to have $1 million
okay,
a
Judge,
year
my
salary, and the judges are not the
Could be
only
paid.
ones. The attorneys are not the
But
only ones.
is all that
they
money
have
going
pay.
to where? Where does it all go?
It goes to the unions, I think.
it goes to the salary of the
Salaries of the-
executives.
of the
$1 million and a half
Of the
dollars,
board.
and the percentage for, what is the percentage now for the advertising agency? 20%, 25%, something like
What's
that?
that? I don't
The
know.
advertising commission.
The
I don't know.
multi-million-dollar contract that they gave for doing the promotion.
Right.
Oh,
That-
you
that
mean
isn't being-
you mean R&R advertising?
Yeah.
That isn't being done, if I understand
they
it
don't
right.
they don't even know what they're doing in China. I've heard in Mexico they don't put the ads on there saying they're
No
doing.
more. No more. They used to.
This is named the Convention Authority, right?
Yeah.
It should be centered on the convention promotion, not necessarily the promotion of the
No,
hotels.
It's
You
visitor-
promote the convention and
visitors
that,
and
Visitor
convention.
convention both.
okay,
And they do have.
That's where they lose focus.
They do have a dual job. That's right.
They lose
They
focus.
operate the convention center.
The
and
hotel should be in promoting their visitors, and the convention should be promoting conventions, which
Yeah.
supply visitors.
Well,
But, you got to concentrate on what your job is, because
Well-
when you go into other areas like the government, too many fingers in the pie, pretty soon they can't do
that's
anything.
right. This board consists of about 13 people, all public
Dole.
public
Officials.
Yeah.
and hotel and
Not
hotel
business people, don't know how
no one from ESPN, no one from CES, no one from the
Right.
trade
Right.
company in China to tell them how to bring business
Exactly,
here.
yeah.
These are all people with set interests.
Yeah,
they
that's the
want
problem.
to
Yeah,
grab money.
that's what
they
I'm
want
saying.
to take. They don't want to produce. They don't want to bring.
And who are some of these people? Are they names that somebody that's been here for a long period of time would recognize?
Well, sure.
How do they get
Lawrence
their
Whitney
jobs?
Is
Lawrence,
the,
Lawrence,
The chairman.
is the chairman.
Chairman.
How do they get their jobs?
Director's on it.
That's a
Ricky
joke.
Barlow.
How do they
That's
get
it.
their jobs? And
Ricky
how do they get their
Barlow.
job? How do they get in that position?
Well, each city appoints someone.
Yeah.
The
city-
Each city
county
from the-
has two people.
from the state?
The city has two people.
Who is the other person in the county?
Brager.
Eh?
Brager, who knows nothing about international
Nothing.
anything.
So they're not
Nothing.
elected, but they're appointed by who in the cities? Who?
The MGM gets a person.
Oh, so the hotels
Some
Yeah.
hotel
nominate or
Savoy group
okay.
gets someone.
The city select
the-
one of them.
the
The county, Henderson.
the Mesquite Hotel
North
has a
Las
person
Vegas.
there, and they have a councilman.
Well,
on it.
they're not more or less aptitude to the hotel side of things, the promotion of hotels, rather
Of
than
course,
just be
that's
some.
the thing.
Yeah.
They're protecting the interests of the hotels, and the hotels are saying we don't want any. They're not saying it, but they're acting it out. We don't want any competition.
And they don't want the
Oh,
rapid
so that's what's
expansion
feeding
because of
to it.
the
I got you.
additional competition
That's
that would lead
short-sightedness
to.
there.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right.
Right?
Because the room rate isn't high enough. Who decides when
This,
the
how,
room
this,
rate is high
hotel, this
enough?
town wasn't built on room rates.
No.
It was
you-
built on
used to
gaming
get the-
revenue.
That's right.
Get
Well,
the
lots
people
of
the hell
other
with a
things.
room, give them a
They pick
goddamn
up
room, let them go to
everything.
the table.
Just play. Yeah, that's
That's
the way
right.
it used to be.
And then they up the cost of the shows, the cost of the drinks, the cost of the foods, and then their gambling revenue goes down, and no one can figure that out.
Right.
When the town was controlled by the mob, they understood.
The
It
mob?
doesn't. It
What do you
doesn't
mean
matter.
mob?
It doesn't matter what we like.
The
Wynn
mob
said.
control that now.
Like, didn't Wynn say that he noticed when he was a young whatever that people walked in a casino and they went out the back door with no money? They left the money in the place. Isn't that what built this town? Was the fact that they come to town because it's cheap, maybe. Oh, I can get a room for, I can eat
50
good, I can
cent
drink
shrimp
good,
cocktail.
and they still leave broke. And you know what happens if they're not broke when it comes time to leave? They stay over
Or come
until they're
back.
broke. They don't leave if
Or if they happen to go home with money, they tell their friends,
then
and
they
10 of
come
their
back.
friends
It's the
come.
word of mouth, exactly.
Yeah.
But now that's
It's all gone by the wayside. The
changed.
corporations have changed it all. The
Well-
bottom line has to make profit from everything. They don't understand the concept that built the town.
Well,
The shows were all in the back of the hotel, and people had to walk all past the casino, all past the tables, all past it to get to the shows.
Yeah.
Now you have Wynn builds this. I don't know why Wynn did it, but he builds this thing in front of Treasure Island. People never have to enter the hotel to see the show. Why wasn't that put in the back of the hotel?
Well,
the sinking
he did-
ship.
he did-
The sinking ship.
Oh, the singing jet.
He
out
did
front
the
of the
same-
hotel.
They
He
wanted,
did the same thing with the Golden Nugget.
And the Bellagio,
Golden
they had the
Nugget, you
fountains
have
out in front of the
nothing to
hotel.
do.
But
You
that's-
never have to go into the hotel to see that.
yeah, that's fabulous.
Fabulous for who? Not for the revenue of the hotel.
Yeah,
Not
he
for the
did
way the
very
town
well with
was
those
built.
hotels.
Well,
He did very
by
well.
accident.
Yeah.
He's just
And,
lucky.
and maybe he did make a mistake in the when he built the Wynn. They put it behind. They put those sorts of features, the waterfalls. And all
Oh,
that
I don't know.
behind
I've never.
things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Golden Nugget was you don't need to go through the casino to go to the coffee shop or to the restaurants or anything like that. The casino
Crazy.
is to the right, unless you come through Fremont Street. Then you have to cross
Yeah, right.
the casino.
When
for
you,
a few-
if you ever notice, I'm sure you guys have, but when you walk through a casino and you're going somewhere, you have to keep jogging because you run into a bank of slot machines. There's no aisles. There's aisles, but you run into a
I
dead
don't know.
end.
The last time I
You know,
was in
you
a
run
casino
into a
was
bank of
about
machines.
15 years ago.
And then you have to jog a little bit, and then you have to keep
Zigzag,
adjusting.
yeah.
You have to keep zigzagging because you keep running into things.
I
Gambling
had,
devices.
I had this fight with Elaine Wynn on email in 2008 or 2009 at the time of the recession. She had made a comment in the paper that she said Las Vegas will never have another boom like it had in the 50s or 60s. And I wrote her and said, "How can you say that? You're a hotel person. Don't you want a boom?" And she wrote back and she said, "Yeah, but it's not going to happen." And it's so unbelievable because everything before 2008 was built on the domestic market. After 2008, as a result of 2008, wealth is spread out all over the world. The United
Global.
States only has about 8% of the wealth in the world. And we haven't made the adjustment to adjust for the other 90% of the world that has all the money now. That's where the problem is. There's no voice of those people on the board. They say they want it, but they don't believe it, or they don't, I don't know, they just don't, they don't act it.
Maybe they're waiting for
You-
somebody else to do it.
if
That sounds like
your
the
whole policy,
paralysis of analysis.
if your policies permeate throughout the city and you don't believe there's going to be another boom, you don't create any reason for people to boom and come here.
That's right.
become stagnant.
That's right. That's why.
So you have to create
that's
your
why
own
the stress
booms,
that she
And they will
she
come.
of
Like,
all
what's the
people
old
would
expression?
say it.
Build it and they will come.
Well, that is
Wynn
always true,
proved that.
But in this case, it's
Every
yours.
hotel he built, he
Yeah.
proved that people will come.
Yeah, and
Steve?
Win, and they
Benjamin
thought he was
Siegel.
crazy when he built the
Benjamin
Mirage.
Siegel
They
did
said
it
you're
also.
crazy. You're never going to make $1 million a day. You know, what's he make now? $1 million a minute at the Mirage? I mean, it's crazy. You build it and they come. Vegas
right.
proved that.
Yeah,
So
that's
you got
right.
an Elaine Wynn saying there'll never be another boom. Not with an attitude like that. Make your own boom.
Well,
That's right.
this is what
That's the
I
problem.
said last week in my column. You know, Steve Wynn, everything he touched turned gold. I don't know how he do it, but you know.
He comes in with new ideas.
Look at
There you
No,
go.
no, you're wrong.
Oh, really?
He bring guys, people, and guys or girls, then they bring the good ideas, the new
Okay.
ideas.
That's the same
He's
thing.
smart enough, he's intelligent
He's a
enough
Trump.
to hire the
Look
right
at-
people.
Look at what Krikorian did. He built the biggest. That's all he knew how to do.
Yeah.
Build the biggest. He built the Hilton, the International, whatever. And then he built the MGM, which is the Bally's. And then he built the MGM, which is the MGM. He just built the biggest. That's all he knew how to do.
Those people
But that's
were-
what carried him.
Those people were amazing, and during that period of
He had a
time,
simple philosophy.
yeah, during that period of time, I remember they would put out a call when they had too many visitors in town. They'd put out a call to the local cities around saying, "Do you have rooms for rent? Will you rent a room to a tourist?" And we would do it all the time. We'd rent rooms, and it was great for the income of the people, and it was for the homeowner, like my family, and it was great for the tourists.
I used to walk people to the Blue Angel, if you can believe that.
Oh my God!
Because
no.
we're out of rooms. The whole town would be out of rooms.
Yeah.
And you have to send
Yeah,
people to the
now-
Blue Angel.
Now it's against the law to rent your house to a
Oh,
tourist.
yeah, you were. I mean, not you.
What?
It's
Yeah.
against the law of the county.
Whose house
Oh, yeah,
is it?
yeah.
Is that in
to
Vegas
rent,
now?
rent
Yeah.
to a tourist.
Whose house is it?
Yeah,
Not-
that's right.
It's the government's
Whose
house.
is it?
It's the hotel's house.
That's right.
It's the
And so
hotel's
that-
house.
And so
I thought the
they're
bank
concerned-
owned it, and
So-
somebody else owns it.
So at these meetings, besides the room rates,
Protect the
they're
hotels,
they're
the
concerned
existing
about
hotels.
Too many people on the strip. When 300,000 people get on the strip, it's too many people.
Build it bigger.
And so we don't want any more hotel rooms.
Oh, Jesus
And they
Christ.
don't, and they won't let the people who want to come here stay in people's houses. I mean, these people are, all they're doing
Boy.
is defending themselves and their friends.
Yep. How are you gonna feed the monster if you don't make everything
And so-
bigger?
That's right.
So
And
you closed in your presentation with identifying these facts and making your suggestions. So
And
I
that-
didn't make it.
why don't you
I-
go on
and
to
they,
your
and they throw
suggestions?
him out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, you
They
didn't,
were so-
you didn't get to
Meet the new
suggestions.
chairman.
So pissed off.
They told you to shut up and get out?
Randy Walker came up to me afterwards and said, "Are you having fun?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, that's what counts. Just have fun."
He said.
So you didn't get to the suggestions? Or your
No, you don't have
recommendations?
You only get 3 minutes.
Have you ever had anybody ask you a question and extend your time?
No.
No,
You know,
got
it shows on those forms that
I
they can do
have a million
that.
things, suggestions they can do.
You gotta see Ed Uheling
Oh, I've seen him.
in the water district.
Oh, I haven't seen him in the water.
Oh, those people get there and they get so mad when he get up and start talking because he telling the truth, you know.
Yeah, the water district.
And
is
you
a
know,
good-
you'll be surprised. I had about, I don't know, I can't remember, 6, 7, I don't know how many people ask me why he doesn't write anymore. He used to write once in a while, but he's too lazy. He doesn't want to
That's right.
write.
I'm a lazy bum.
Yes. He's too lazy. He just
Yeah.
want to get the plane to go to China and go to Beijing and go to you know, I don't
He's
know.
global.
Huh?
He's
Now-
global. He's
Global?
expanded his
He's
horizons.
global.
He's
And
expanded his
now we want
horizons.
to take kids to China to
Yeah.
study in China since they've thrown out the.
That's what China needs is more people.
Yeah, they do. They deal with people so well. It's unbelievable. The city of Beijing, since I started going there in 2002, has grown from 10 million people to 22 million people, and it's like a Pleasantville. It's so comfortable. Everyone is busy. Everyone is moving around. They move millions and millions of people a day in and out, and with
Mass
much
transit?
easier. Yeah, the
Yeah.
subway. They built probably 20 subway lines in those 12 years.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And people there live in apartments. So
That's
the
the
city has
Oriental
come
brain.
back.
You know, their brain is heavier than our brain. They have more capacity. They do. That's a proven scientific fact.
I've
They're
heard
smarter.
that
No, they're
before.
smarter than we are. They have more capacity.
No, really.
Yeah.
Well,
Who?
They
Who?
have
The Oriental
some,
brain.
They have
is
some
smarter.
interesting things.
Heavier.
They,
The mass of the weight of the brain is heavier.
they figure out how to do things.
Yeah, they
And-
go
and
around
so
to-
it works. So things work.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
they've always been
You
very
can
good
move
that way.
around. You can move around that country so fast now.
Wow.
You can travel. You can travel like from here to Chicago in like
And
7 hours.
the cars
on,
that-
on a rail.
The
on a
cars
rail.
that are available are all, if there are cars available, they're all what, small and tiny?
No, they like big cars.
Oh.
And that's one
But-
of their problems.
Oh.
When I went there, they were building the 4th ring road.
Oh, okay,
or
like
the-
Houston's
I
got
think
2 or
They
whatever.
had just finished the 3rd ring road.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Around the city?
Around the city.
22
okay.
million people.
3rd ring road. Okay. And the 2nd ring road was barely had any cars, just a few cars.
The second.
Yeah, the
And they're
second
already
one,
building
the
the
one on the
4th.
inside, the one on the inside. Occasionally a car would come off, but thousands of people on bicycles and walking and all that on the streets. and then they had 2 subway lines at that time. And today, the 5th ring road is packed with cars. You can't even move on the 2nd ring road. It is so packed with cars.
Wow.
That's a disaster. Not a disaster, but because they bought so many cars. They sell more cars in China than here in the United States now. And yeah.
If the subways
And-
are
and
so
the-
efficient as you described them, why would you even bother with a car?
Because it's a status thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
Drive
it had to
your
be something-
Mercedes
had to be
or
something
your
that makes
Bentley
sense.
down to
Right, right,
Rounds.
right.
These are all new cars, and there aren't any old wrecks out there in these streets. These are all new cars packing these ring roads. Probably the 6th ring road that's the latest one
Well,
to be built.
you know-
It's probably 200 miles long.
In Costa Rica,
Yeah.
the taxis are Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
Well, I lived in Houston for a while, and you take those
Probably
roads, those ring
next
roads
year will be
everywhere.
Bendis.
To go to this, I lived in Houston for a while, and you take those ring roads, as you call them, everywhere in Houston.
Yeah.
To go everywhere, you get on one of those rings, and if the ring's crowded, you get on the side road right next to it, which is not usually that crowded, because that was the
Feeder
road,
road.
that was the feeder road. Sometimes you can make better on the
Yeah,
feeder
right,
road than you
that's
can on
right.
the ring road.
Yeah, right.
But you go everywheres on them.
Yeah.
Well,
But if you go to China, everyone is moving. There are no bums on the street. Very, very few. No one begging for money. No one. Everyone is moving around.
You
going
know,
to school.
let me
there
tell
are no
you,
school
I'm-
buses.
I'm glad
Every
you-
kid goes to school on the public transit or walking to school.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was paying attention the other day. You cannot go to a grocery store in Las Vegas today without running into at least 3 or 4 beggars.
That's
And,
right.
You know.
Yeah.
And then you
It's
got a
incredible.
lady, the Smiths that I go to, there's a lady that have a beautiful white van, and she sit there and she go, tamales? Tamales?
Do they have welfare?
She's selling
Do they have
tamales.
welfare in China?
What?
Do they have welfare
Yeah, but
system in
no.
China? There you go.
No? They have
There you go.
welfare?
No.
No?
It's all
certain
charity?
things. If someone is handicapped,
It's all
someone is-
handicapped,
yeah.
handled by charities, like it used to be in this
No,
country.
it's just cheap. Everything is cheap except food. Now food is.
Oh
more
yeah, they just
expensive.
lowered their monetary system again. I heard the other day to make sure it was to keep it more
Well,
even
that
competitive.
has to do with exports. That's a whole different issue.
That's right.
That's really
Doesn't really affect the guy
not
on the street over there.
Yeah, right. That doesn't affect people. Neither does all this stock market stuff. Everyone's hysterical about the stock market. The stock market is just speculators.
I don't.
The casino.
The main street of China is doing very well. Here, the stock market is doing great, but the main street is doing horrible. You look at all the vacancies. You don't see vacancies
Oh,
in
yeah.
China.
No?
Wow.
No, and there you can pack things in. You have it's like Chinatown where you have several stories of businesses.
They have a lot
All
of
over?
Anyway.
of industrial accidents, or what? They don't have a OSHA, I guess, and then they have overseas stuff. They do have that.
Yeah.
How long do you
Yeah,
stay
they got,
when you
they
go
got
to China?
regulation, very good regulations.
How long do you
How's
stay
the
when you go
smog?
to China?
What?
Yeah.
Smog.
Well, in Beijing, it's horrendous.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, because
22
they're
million
surrounded
people.
by mountains. It's
Oh,
like,
Jesus
it's like
Christ.
LA. It's not as bad as LA was
Really?
in the 50s, though.
Oh, okay.
You go to LA in the 50s or the 60s, and your nose would
Okay.
burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could only see to the second light post.
Mr.
the
Uheling?
light pole. In
Mr.
China, it's not-
Mr.
I've never seen
Uheling?
it that bad.
Mr.
Wow.
Uheling, I wanted to thank you for stopping by. I want to thank everybody
Thank you.
for listening and stay tuned for the wake up call with Dr. Steve Dempsey.
We're going to listen to Roger Stone, Trump's main man.
Who?
Roger Stone is
I
his
thought
name.
that Steve Dempsey was
I'm
having
gonna-
a show.
I'm going to play some clips and comment on what he's got to say.
Oh,
I
you
don't
gonna
know
play some
everything.
Clips of Roger Stone.
Thank you.
Oh, very good.
Who is Roger Stone?
He wrote the book.